Hey, everybody, it's Will.
This is Thomas.
And we're back at the virtual spinner rack once again, right here on OK Boomer, the podcast. And big cheers to everybody. Cheers. My lights are on, so you can see a couple of toys. You can see the ass end of my A-wing over here.
Yeah, you still haven't unpacked all that mess.
Oh, God, no. I'm trying, but, you know, I'm getting there. I actually found an old Aquaman Big Little book from 1968.
Holy crap.
And right with that was a big old button with like early 1960s Aquaman on it. And I guess it's a member of the superhero club. And it doesn't state whether it's Marvel or DC. Obviously, you know it's DC.
Yeah.
Somewhere I've actually got one of the original Make Mine Marvel buttons.
Oh, cool.
But it's slightly damaged because the plastic shrink coating that went over those old buttons.
Yeah.
It's like chipped away from over the years. Sadly, if it wasn't chipped away, those things sell for like, $50 to $100 online all the time.
Oh, yeah, they're expensive. I've tried to get a couple of them. Those are the freaking gold medallions I can't ever get.
Yeah. Well, this one's like a big old fat button like that. Damn. It's got like all the character heads around it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it owns.
Yeah, I got it for like $10 or something.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, that's a good deal. And I got my new hat.
I see that.
This is the coolest thing I found in a Loot Crate box ever. Actually, I think was it Loot Crate? No, it was the Wizard Comic-Con box.
A Punisher hat.
But when you flip it, it's a Daredevil hat.
Oh, really? I see.
So it's a reversible hat, so I can flip it back and forth. So I can wear the Punisher hat on Boomer, and then I can flip it so I still look like I'm wearing a red hat on my logo and all, and we can go from there.
What you're saying though is we need to do the Punisher Daredevil crossover. Was it Punisher 10 and Daredevil 267? Because those are like two of the greatest comics of all time.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget the cap. Don't forget the cap issue where Daredevil has his foot on Cap's shield, and he's got his.
No, this Punisher has his foot on Cap's shield.
Yeah, Punisher's got his foot on Cap's shield. Oh, yeah. I said Daredevil. See, yeah. You can't trust us boomers. We're fucking old.
Well, what we have to do is do that one, and then I'll dig it up. I can't remember, but if you really, we'll have to do that one day. But it's Punisher 10, Daredevil like 267, and then in like Daredevil, I don't know, like 500 and something. I can't remember it, whatever number it is. I think Bendis was writing it when it happened. Bendis writes a third story, so you get that same story from Punisher 10 and Daredevil 260, whatever it was, told by three different people. It's really cool.
So what you're saying is Bendis ran out of ideas again, and he was watching that Batman the Animated Series episode where the little kids are telling the same story about how they saw and met Batman.
Maybe.
And the stories are wildly all different, but you know.
It was great. Uh, well, last week we were talking, and I was trying to say, well, hey, let's do. Originally, I was talking about Nick Fury, and then we said no, and I said, well, let's see if we can find some Judge Dredd. Well, all the Judge Dredd I found was really long, so I was like, oh my god, we just did a graphic novel, so let's do something else. And I was looking around, and I got both of them, but hey, I just got the second part of this in the mail, so I dug out the first one and read it. And I don't know about you, but I don't read a whole lot of DC, but I really like Justice League from this time period.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
and you know I read a whole lot of DC.
oh, I know, so I figured you'd be okay with it.
That,
Well, the other thing,
that's how this works out so good. We're both into indie and small press, and we both read Marvel and DC, but you read a ton of Marvel
I know I read
with a little DC sprinkled in, and at a certain time frame, like when I was making good money, I couldn't say no to any comic book. I would just, my average price at the register when I would check out when I was working was like $200 a week on comics.
Holy crap! Yeah, I've never gotten that bad.
Because I couldn't tell what story was what. 17 Avengers books, and I'm like, what the hell? But now it turns out I have a whole bunch of Avengers, modern Avengers, shall we say, keys. So
yeah. Well, and the thing is this is I've been wanting to read this for a while because I had it and it's been sitting on my to read pile, and I stumbled across it the other day. I had read an article about this one time because this is when Boland, who is notoriously slow on interior work, but did so many covers at this time that when he did these covers, he kind of changed Starro for DC Comics, and they actually wrote the story to kind of fit the covers, is what I was, I'd read the legend was, and it actually fits in because when you read the story, when we get inside of it here, Starro talks about all of his evolutions.
Yeah, and then earlier last year they did that. Either early 2020 or late 2019, they did the 4-issue miniseries to relaunch the new Justice League.
Yeah,
and they friggin' killed Starro.
But as he talks about it in here, he's been killed multiple times, and he always manages to come back.
If there's a piece of him left, he can eventually regrow. So hopefully
Just
be back because
Clarkish.
he's a really cool character. And boink.
Yep. So that's the first issue. The one I showed everybody that's the second actually, but we'll get to it in just a minute because we do both. It's a 2-issue storyline, and it's awesome.
Yep, because we're infamous for the 2-issue storylines.
Yes.
It's like, and you get to the end of it, and like, dang it, it continues. I know what I'm doing next week.
Well, and that's the whole thing. We're just doing it all one week, and I sit down and read this at one time. It was just that good. I mean, everything from the Boland cover, and I didn't even realize it because at this time, which but I don't know if our listeners know, it's around this time that George Perez was actually doing Justice League because he did 83 to 85, I think it was.
Yeah,
he did the Dark Side story.
Yeah, he did a whole bunch of. He's done like a ton of Justice League over the years.
Yeah, he did. And that's what's got me into Justice League was that. And then Dick Dillon's art is incredible on Justice League. But what's amazing, like I said, we get inside here, it's actually not Dick Dillon, and this is Rich Buckler on the inside art, which everybody knows Buckler. They should. If they don't, then
And on the plus side, editor extraordinaire, comic historian, an awesome comic creator for both Marvel and DC, the late great Len Wein.
Yes, Lin Win. Because I mean, Lin was great. He was on both of them. The the thing is like I said, the always to me when I read DC, because I mean, there's some great guys that worked at Marvel, and they traveled both over, but DC had such, Giordano. I don't think he ever went over to Marvel. Um, Lin Win swapped both of them, but who was it? Was it Giordano, Orlando? There's so many people that are just incredible at DC that are, were in the business for so long.
Yeah, and this was like a weird lineup too. Like as soon as I opened it up, I was excited because I love Ronnie Raymond Firestorm.
Yeah, yeah. This is the original
I
Firestorm.
I did not like the new 52 Firestorm.
No, this is the original
It
Firestorm.
had some good stories, but it was like, oh man, you took it, you just went too far. All of a sudden, every country in the world has their own Firestorm Matrix. I'm like, get out of here.
Well,
Uh,
and
but
beyond that, I mean, this is just a
yeah,
B team.
yeah. Well, it's not really a B team if
Yeah,
you consider you got Superman, Wonder Woman, and Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, and then
yeah,
of course you've got as he's lovingly referred to in the '60s, '70s, and '80s, you have Reddy, the Red Tornado, who made a big comeback in the Young Justice cartoon. Firestorm, of course, who was actually Firestorm and Cyborg with a they replaced the Wonder Twins with Firestorm and Cyborg because they were like the kids. And then of course, Black Canary
yeah. But see, I
after,
miss.
one of many times she kicked Ollie to the curb, but
Yeah, and that's the other thing I was missing. Is Black Canary's in here by herself. There's no Ollie. Firestorm's in here. That's cool. Red Tornado's in here. I was kind of shocked Batman's not in this book. Just anytime I see Superman and Wonder Woman, I usually think, hell, there's Batman, but he's nowhere to be seen. Not yet, anyway.
yeah, this time period is like one of the many that he quits the league because he needs to concentrate, more on Gotham because, well, you know,
Gotham's
Gotham's
a terrible place to live.
Gotham's a cesspool.
Yes, it is.
It's like Chicago.
No, yes, it.
Did he just
Oh,
say? That's right, I did. Look who your mayor is.
oh. All right, so this is story opens, and we're at the Justice League satellite, and Black Canario is running Firestorm through a obstacle course,
Run
and
them through the hoops.
yep, pretty much, literally through the hoops,
And he's
and
cheating by using his powers,
yeah,
and she's trying to train him, even though obviously he's still using his powers when he's flying. But to not use his metamorphosis power to make himself intangible and just you know try to
pass
cheat his
through the
way,
hoops.
you know, just literally instead of going through the hoops, he's literally going through the hoops.
Yeah. And what's funny is just she's even on the second page she's sitting there screaming at him about it, and he gets mad at her. He's like, "Hey, have you ever done it?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do this obstacle course all the time."
He goes,
And
I
she
run this
wants to fight.
myself like once a day.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like,
So
fine, let's go.
uh, and she laughs at him after she pisses him off.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's funny, like I said, it's we talk about it all the time. Comic books can immediately change position, and we go to back to Earth side. Oh, here's our people. There's the credits.
Yep.
Jerry
Jerry
Conway.
Conway, Rich Buckler, Frank McLaughlin, uh, is the inker. Ben
Yep.
Oda was the letterer, but Ben Oda was not the letterer on the next issue. Uh,
Okay, I didn't
Gene,
notice that.
Gene D'Angelo is coloring this issue, and Len Wayne is the editor, and he was editor on both issues because editors would stay on, a book for X amount of time until, somebody higher up was like, yeah, this book's doing crappy. We need you to go over there and straighten them out.
And fix this
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So this is back before, obviously before computers and TV all consumed everything we have because our little Timmy here, whatever his name is, I can't remember now. Little Timmy skipped school to go try his brand new fishing rod. So he's playing hooky to go fishing.
No, the way I read it is he snuck out of the house early in the morning
To go fishing.
to go fishing, and then when his parents woke up, to have coffee and breakfast, he was gone, and of course his fishing pole was gone with him.
Okay. So maybe he hasn't gone to school yet. Either way, I figured he was playing hooky. So he's fishing, and he's like, man, I finally, I'm going to catch me a big one. And he pulls it up, and there's a little piece of, looks like a fish maybe, but it zaps him. And once it zaps him, he's like, oh, hey. And then now it flashes back to the house where little Timmy there returns to the house. And his dad gets mad at him because he comes back with a box. Where he got the box, we don't know, unless it's his fishing tackle box.
It is the fishing tackle box.
Okay, so it's his fishing tackle box, and
Did you read this book?
Yes, I read this book. He don't say it's
right.
his fishing tackle box, but
Yeah, it does.
where? Anyway, okay, so he's got his box, and his dad takes the box from him and opens it up, and then both him and like his dad gets zapped first, and then his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't understand really what's going on right now. We just know that something has zapped them and has knocked them out. And then we change scenes again at the bottom of the page to a park. I thought something was going on at first. I'm like, what the hell's going on in the park? Because there's red tornado like going across,
the water making way. I'm like, it's like he's trying to kill the people in the boats. What the hell?
Yeah.
Come on, ready?
Yeah, he's going across, and then here's Wonder Woman. Like, she's sitting there having a damn picnic, and you realize he's giving this little kid a ride around.
Yeah, that's a little girl that he rescued from a war in the Middle East, and this woman ended up, kind of like adopting her, and she's in love with Red Tornado, and at this point he's still an android. Later on, they retcon him, so when they fixed him, they actually moved a human's consciousness into Red Tornado's body because he was dying or something.
But now at this point, he's 100% android, from what I gather. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
he's 100% android now.
He's showing emotion and other stuff, and I guess he's pulling the data thing from Star Trek, trying to become more human than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of shocked that the chick was so much in love with him, and
hot.
Yeah, she's hot. She's in love with him, and Red Tornado invites Wonder Woman along just to kind of show her that there's another side to me besides what you see at the Justice League.
Yeah,
and these are the people that I care about.
I'm not just a cold tin-plated android. Somehow he's got like some feelings and.
Yeah, and I kept going. Where's this coming from? But even the lady down there at the bottom says, what is it? He's got, he loves me. He's a human being, and he has needs and cares, and I love him. I'm like, whoa, it's going kind of strange.
Data, are you fully functional?
What does he say? 6,000 ways or some crap like that.
In multiple techniques.
Yeah. But he goes back and brings the kid back to the girl, and Wonder Woman's like, who's just like in a regular Wonder Woman outfit, sunning at the damn park. It's like, oh, I understand why Red Tornado invited me, so he can show that he loves everyone, and he has an existence, and he's something besides just a robot.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that really got me, besides the cover, because let's say the covers of Bolin. Bolin is incredible. I really, really like Rich Buckler, and some of this in here is just incredible. I mean, to me, this is a great picture of Red Tornado. The up close,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just really looks good. So while they're talking, here comes little Timmy and his dad, who just wander into the park. So I guess they don't live far from the park, or it was a time period that
they're in Long Island, but they were instructed to go to a heavily populated area with water. So Timmy's dad drove them all to Central Park and let Starro out in the lake.
Yep. And then while he's out in the lake, he's growing still.
Mm-hmm.
And he knocks over the damn people in the boat and attacks everyone. And then, of course, it's great that two superheroes are there because they leap into action.
For all the good that did him.
Exactly. Because, Red Tornado's, heads off towards this, whatever. They don't even know it's Starro right now. It's just some kind of monster thing, they think. And they head towards it. And it freaking zaps the living hell out of Wonder Woman and knocks her unconscious, which shows you he's pretty freaking powerful as it is.
Yeah.
And then he zaps the living hell out of Red Tornado and knocks him out too. And then that's when he fully comes up out of the water, and we see him now. He's regenerated completely. And I love the whole monologue thing because they just monologue it right here to death. Humans, you witness the greatest, arrival in your midst. I'm Starro. I'm here to rule everyone. And then he goes on.
Oh yeah. Can we please just have a book one time where the villain doesn't explain his entire reason for being and tell everybody his whole history.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
In his plan.
They changed Starro for this book, for these two books, and then they completely run down Starro's entire appearance line. Go all the way back to the very first appearance in Brave and Bold 27 when the Justice League was first formed.
Mm-hmm. And apparently that was a 2-part story.
The Justice League 27.
27 is Justice League's first appearance, but
yeah,
that story continued into 28, I guess, because in 190, our editor Len Wayne explains that something happened in Brave and the Bold 28. So, and it was part of the whole Starro thing. So
yeah. I missed that one. Now I've read Justice League 27 before. I've read the first appearance of that where he fights the original Justice League. I do like how they have some extra members that really weren't there. I don't remember Batman and Superman being in that issue, but
yep.
We'll go ahead and say, I guess Starro remembers them being there, so they may have been there, but I think his memory's wrong.
Yeah, his memory's wrong, but they're doing it this way because those people are here now. But
exactly.
Aquaman, Wonder Woman,
Flash,
Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter were the five.
Yep.
Five times.
The five original
members. Yep.
So I did go back and look at the Adventure Comics 451 because he talks about his defeat here and a piece of him falls. falls, and he
Mm-hmm.
like returns, and then he fights Aquaman by himself, and Aquaman defeats him. People just don't understand. Aquaman was a badass at one time. He still can be. I don't know why he gets as much hate as he does, but he defeats Starro by himself pretty much with the help of sharks and crap.
Yeah, I think a lot of that. I think a lot of the Aquaman hate just comes from the fact that ooh, he talks to fish. Ooh.
Yeah.
And and then if he's out of water for too long,
Well,
they did
that's the
that.
thing too.
They did that whole thing. If he was out of water for too long, he couldn't survive. And I'm like, wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. They changed his origin from the golden age to the silver,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got some of those. I've got a handful of the Silver Age Aquaman books, and where he gets out of water and like freaking muggers beat the hell out of him. Like, oh look, it's Aquaman. Speed him up.
I think the earliest Aquaman issue I have is 15.
Can't remember. I've got the one with him where he's doing the earliest one I've got is with Aquaman, and he's doing the beauty pageant with all the sea monster people.
Oh, great.
So he even goes back and tells what's going on in this issue, how little Timmy pulls him out of the ocean, and he zaps him, and then after they feed him, they put him in the truck and then drive him to the park and dump him in the water.
They feed his tentacle where he has no mouth to eat from, and he just grows back into a starfish. So they were just pouring like milk and stew on top of him, like they were basting him.
Yeah, and he absorbed
and then
it.
he absorbed it and grew the rest of his body back.
And that's funny because he keeps talking about I need more protein. I need more protein. I need more protein. But now he's strong enough that he like zaps these people, and he can mind control all the rest of the people here. And he's like, so now that he's been mind control them, he's going to go some other place. And then it's like far to the north, it flashes up to Superman in the Fortress of Solitude. Mm-hmm. I love the big key, man. The big key is so cool. The only thing that's kind of cool, the big key is cool, but then what is it also in, if you remember, I know you read All-Star Superman by Morrison.
Oh, yeah, it's been so long, though.
Yeah, you remember he doesn't have a big key. It's like a house key. It's a little bitty key. And they're like, well, anybody can pick it up. And Superman's like, no, it's a piece of white dwarf star. I'm the only one that can pick it up because it's just sitting on the earth. But so it flashes to the North Pole, and Superman is there with Hal Jordan, and he's trying to figure out the power limits of Hal's ring, and they're going on about it, which to me is cool too, because then this is part where they show Superman used to be so much smarter in the comics than he is kind of shown now. He's not shown as he's stupid now, but he's not the intellectual genius that Batman is in the comics now. And back then, I think they used to be more on equal terms.
Yeah, because he's got all of this, even though he was never there, he's got like all of this Kryptonian equipment and everything.
Yeah.
That puts the Batcave to shame. And
yeah, but this is all before was it not Neelix? The Neelix is the dude from Voyager.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with this.
What is the God? What's the robot's name now? I'm forgetting that he has that helps him all the time.
Oh, but that's new retcon stuff from the Man of Steel miniseries that Byrne did.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, from '86.
So none of that stuff existed here.
All right.
There were he still had like robots in the fortress, but they were just there for like when he was away.
Okay, not any robot people that went around and helped him.
No, it was all like maintenance drones.
So he's talking with Green Lantern. He's talking with Hal, trying to figure out how strong Hal's ring is, and he basically tells Hal that your ring is, it's stronger than anything I've ever encountered. It's like the strongest weapon in the universe. Haven't you ever tried to figure out how strong it is? And Hal Jordan's like, no, dude, it just works. I just let it go. I ride with it.
Well, he said, he says, that he had before, but he gave up on
Yeah,
that because you can only use so much power at a time.
yeah. He's like, I tried, but now I just like ride with it. And their alarm goes off, and of course the alarm goes off and lets them know, go to the Fortress of is this going to be called the Fortress of Solitude or the JLA satellite, whatever you want
No,
to call it?
they're going to the JLA satellite. They're in the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah. Ugh. Damn, it's been a long day. So they fly to the JLA satellite, and when they get there, you know, freaking Red Tornado and Wonder Woman are out cold, and Firestorm and Black Canary are trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But good for them. There's these robots that can kind of help them, and they've got them in the chair getting them operated on. I don't, I don't see how the Starro hurt Red Tornado as hard as he did. Hell, I still don't see how he hurt Wonder Woman like that. He did it first, but so they're
Well,
operating on them.
he's got like this wicked you know electrolysis force field around him.
So it just so their own strength knocked them out.
Yeah, so
I guess.
Wonder Woman, uh, Starro had completely slipped her mind because she had, you know, other stuff going on in her life, and she was, you know, and
Well, that,
all, you
well, the
know,
other thing is, I guess if that was because she talks about it here that she, I should have recognized him, but the last time she fought him was before, back when the Justice League was formed, and that's, he goes on when he said he gives a little history there. So this is what is this thing? This is like the third or fourth appearance of Starro, and that's it.
mm-hmm.
And then after this, now he's been used a handful of times. Yeah, because that's where she tells him, yeah, we battled him way before you, Starro the Conqueror. And they stole these teleporters from Star Trek. So we flash back down to New York, and Starro keeps getting bigger and bigger, and he's taking over people's minds, and he's going to establish more complete control over his slaves. So he heads to the top of the Empire State Building, and the Justice League beam down.
Yeah, he's gonna do his King Kong.
Yep. So he flies up there. This is where I guess you like Firestorm. I forgot. Yeah, because he's like just a hothead. He flies off here, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He just takes off.
He's like telling Wonder Woman, "Oh, you're in my town now." Blah blah blah, and Diana's like goes, "You forget, I used to live here too."
Yeah.
Well, New York changes real quick.
Well, and that's the thing too. She lived here. She was with. Didn't she do something at the UN or something at one time?
Yeah.
Was that before or after this? I can't remember.
Oh, that was probably before this. That was like in the 60s and 70s.
Okay, so yeah, so she was here, and then Firestorm is smarting off, and the professor's even like, "Hey, buddy, you don't need to be acting this way. She's just trying to help." And Firestorm thinks about, I guess the professor's kind of upset because he has no control over the body when they're merged as Firestorm, and he heads off, just flies off towards damn Starro because you can't miss him. He's gigantic. He's as big as the damn.
Yeah, he's doing his best King Kong.
Yeah, And all of a sudden, he starts throwing these little starfish people out everywhere. And this is the thing that, this just changes him. I love how they start whacking on everybody, and as soon as they get onto them, they control
Mm-hmm. And of course, Firestorm's the first. The cocky kid, don't get cocky, kid. He was
them.
the
Yeah,
first one to take it right to the face, and
he unloads on Wonder Woman.
mm-hmm.
Uh, love how Superman's trying to help Black Canary there, and they're just all doing their best to stop. They realize what's going on with these damn starfish. Hal starts throwing them out, but there's too many of them, and they just start whacking into everybody. The art is really really good in this issue.
Who
It's
is it?
just I said the art is really good.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I love all of it. It just looks right. It looks like the character should.
Mm-hmm.
I do like how Superman just starts to, uses his heat vision here to try and like melt him or dehydrate him or whatever. And then when he gets close enough, there's his electric force field that knocks him out. He
Yeah, well,
calls it,
he was he knew he couldn't really do too much to him
yeah,
with just his heat vision,
yeah,
but he was acting as a distraction for Canary to get in
yeah,
place to hit Starro, with her, sonic scream.
hmm,
And of course, Superman gets zapped, and they think, Starro's like, oh no, and they get close enough, and he's like, ha ha, suckers.
yeah. He knocks the hell out of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, what the hell is she going to do kicking him?
She was just trying to get his tentacle. I had to say that carefully. His tentacle away from her, so she could try to, get away without without getting zapped or whatever.
But this
And
is this has really got to suck for her though, because she just used her sonic scream and she can only use it every so often. She whacks into the damn tentacle and turns around, and there's the rest of the Justice League. Like,
all all faced.
yeah, brain controlled.
She goes down. Then she sees Tornado, Hal, and Diana all
Hmm.
taken over. Then one whacks her in the face. Then one whacks Superman in the face.
Yep. And then by the time that is the end of our issue, all of the Justice League is under mind control, and everybody that's below them in Times Square is under mind control. Most of the city, and Starro's up here, screaming, we're going to move on from this city and soon I'll take over the world. And then here comes this damn bird that's like flying back, and it comes back to Hawkman, who is out in the harbor on an aircraft carrier with the other members of the Justice League,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Yeah,
tells the
yeah.
captain what's going on.
It's not even his faithful Hawk Skrill.
Yeah,
It's
seagull or
it's
something.
fucking Seagull. What the hell?
Yeah, the other faithful Hawk was like, "No, I'm gonna set this one up, man, but I appreciate it." Yeah,
So he comes down and the bird communicates with him because,
yeah,
apparently it's not just enough that Aquaman can talk to all the fish. Now Hawkman can talk to all the birds. And so the pigeon of the seagull, whatever, tells him what's going on in Times Square and communicates him back. And, he tells everybody. And they were concerned because pretty much the whole planet's on a communications blackout
yeah,
because of Starro's electrolysis field. So
yeah, whatever he's doing, he's blocked it all out. And
unaffected, of course, is Hawkman, Hawkgirl. Why couldn't she be Hawkwoman? Either way, elongated man because we didn't want anybody silly like Plastic Man. Aquaman, Flash, and Batman, who shows
you know,
up. He showed up in
yeah,
this
Batman,
issue.
he shows up at the end. You know what's funny is in the next issue we get to it, you'll see Elongated Man is kind of silly in the book, but he's not crazy silly. But I like Elongated Man for some crazy reason. I don't know why I always
Yeah,
have.
yeah. He's a good character.
But the thing is, so after Hawkman tells him what the hell's going on, the captain of the naval destroyer's like, we're going to have to destroy New York if it gets any worse. And literally, that's how the story ends on this one.
It's like, 24 Justice League, 24 hours before we nuke New York.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says.
And then we have this incredible Bolin cover for the next issue that looks even better.
Yeah, and that's the one that made me go, you know what? It's about time I read that book.
Mm-hmm. Because they've done various animated episodes versions of like this story basically.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
And a couple of like the Justice League cartoons. So
but yeah, this is just amazing cover. And this one is, there's our credits right there. Yeah, Conway, Buckler, Bob Smith, Rich Buckler, Bob Smith, and Larry Mouse are the artist. So I guess there's double anchors. And John Constanza is the letterer on this one.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Len Wayne is still the editor.
Yep.
And the other person I can't make out is
it's
something.
Gene D'Angelo.
Oh, Gene D'Angelo was the colorist on this one.
Yeah. So
and
they got
this is where we find out that along with a handful of Coast Guard vessels, there are 2 Trident nuclear submarines,
like 3 destroyers,
the aircraft carrier, and a bunch of fishing boats.
Yeah. So there's an assload of boats out there.
Yeah, and it says there hasn't been a fleet this lame since 1855.
They don't say that, but we'll take it.
But the captain or the admiral, whoever is telling, basically lets them know that just with the 2 Trident nuclear powered submarines, they could lay waste. Those 2 submarines alone could lay waste to the entire continent of North America. So,
which he's probably not bluffing. Yeah, and here's where he gives what we were just talking about. He gives their 24 hours to get in there and get crap done. It's your only feasible option. Because if you don't, we're going to have to blow the whole damn city up. And to give a little quick recap of the rest of the story, or what the last issue, we see what's going on. Your fellow Justice Leaguers are under control. And then here comes Flash goes to talk to Zatanna and say, hey, we're going to head into town. And they decide to kind of sneak in. And Hawkgirl, or Hawkwoman, whatever you want to call it, she agrees to, they have until nightfall to resolve the situation.
Or you're all dead.
Yep. So our backup team to go in and take care of this is Hawkgirl, Hawkman, Zatanna in her special outfit, Flash, Batman, Aquaman, and Elongated Man. Just a kid geek moment. I've always loved the fact that the Flash can run on water. I just think it's so cool. I mean, there's a book. Well, you remember those little? You were talking about the big little books earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I got one of those. Oh God, just like the doll paperbacks or whatever that reprinted the comics. And there's one where Flash is running on water, and I've always loved that issue. So,
Oh, the digests.
yeah, I guess it's a digest.
Don't call it a doll magazine.
I said Dow, DAW.
DAW.
Yeah, you don't remember that? They used to do science fiction books and stuff like that.
No, apparently you're older than me.
Oh my God. I just snap some pictures and send them to you. so so they head off, and Starro has moved from freaking the top of the Empire State Building to Grand Central Station. And inside of Grand Central Station here, he is making Firestorm turn the floor into steel. And he's making him turn the floor into steel. And then he's making Green Lantern create like a power conductor, power transformer, and hook it to the floor, the steel floor. And then Superman gets the freaking third rail that powers the damn subway, rips it up, and hooks it into the transformer so that it electrifies the floor, and then Starro can use the electricity from the floor to actually continue to feed himself and make himself stronger.
Opposed to just reaching one of his tentacles into the subway and touching the third rail himself.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, this is a lot more dramatic. Plus, it gives time for Red Tornado to see what's going on. Because now here we discover we thought Red Tornado was under mind control, but because he's an android, his mind doesn't work the way humans' minds work.
You can't mind control a computer.
Yep. So he has been pretending all along to be under mind control.
Mm-hmm.
And now he goes to leave to try and let the rest of the Justice League. That's his goal, to get away and find the rest of the Justice League and let them know what the hell's going on. And as soon as he gets out, he rips the damn starfish little piece off. And when he rips it off, Wonder Woman just happens to be outside, and she sees him do it. So she attacks him. And she's like, you're not of the body, like that Star Trek episode.
That's what I thought of too. You will know the peace and tranquility of Landru.
Yeah. So she goes to, she attacks him, and he manages to knock her down into the damn telephone pole and knocks her out. And then he flies.
He gets away, yeah.
And so he heads away while the rest of the Justice League are heading into town to figure out what's going on. And this is where they split up.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkman and Hawkgirl are going to go to one way. What is it? Yeah, so here it is. Yeah. It says double talk, forget about it. So, yeah, Flash and Aquaman go one way. Hawkman, Hawkgirl go the other way. And then the two,
the last four.
Or excuse me, Flash and Zatanna go one way. Aquaman goes another way. And then Hawkman, Hawkgirl go one way, and then Elongated Man and Batman go another way. But before they go,
they get these discs.
These damn discs. And they're made of like the nth metal or whatever it is that projects the anti-gravity. It's going to, knock everything away from them, so the starfish can't land on them.
Yeah, it's as he described it. Those small discs, which he cannot make a big giant one of and get rid of Starro, or make like millions of little ones. These are what they use on Thanagar to keep the insects away. Yeah. So they've essentially all got deep woods off discs
for starfish.
For anything. It's pest control. But the Hawks, take to the sky. Aquaman, of course, takes to the sea. uh, leaving Batman. Well, the Hawks take off, and then it leaves the four of Batman, Zatanna, Aquaman, and Elongated Man to move the rest, and Flash is just gonna do what he does.
Yeah, they're there. And the thing that's funny is reading it long. I mean, anytime you see an asterisk in these old books, I always look at it, and I know who it is. So you know, didn't really pay much attention to it at the time, but
Oh yeah, and Ralph, Elongated Man.
Yeah, they just point him out. It's like everybody else goes by their regular name, and Batman's just like, oh, and Ralph's coming with us. Like, really?
Yeah. Well, we couldn't fit Elongated Man in that small balloon.
So we're gonna make it.
We'll just put it in Len will just put it in one of his boxes down the bottom.
I was like, really?
If you don't know who Ralph Dibny is by now, you can quit reading Justice League.
So they head in, and then now we get a little bit of our brief retelling again, as here's little Timmy and his dad are at the farmer's market, and they're getting more food for Starro. And
more food, you said?
Yeah, that's what they're getting.
I thought the accent's getting to me today. I thought I thought you said, and they're getting morphine for Starro.
yeah.
Whoa!
He's got a headache.
He's got a little pain from that earlier attack. He just wants to get rid of.
So they're getting more food for Starro, and little Timmy wanders into the freezer, and he's like, "Oh, it's so cold," and he's in there long enough that for some reason the cold actually breaks Starro's control on him, and then he remembers what's going on.
I think a lot of it too is Starro has used so much power to create all his little baby selves to take control of so many people.
Yeah,
that his earlier control is starting to wane off now.
And the cold just snaps it out of him, I guess. And then we flash. So here's Aquaman in the harbor, and he is literally commanding all of the fish and the sea creatures to keep all of the other boats away from the city, so that no one else gets affected by Starro.
And of course, the bass go up to the top and goes, just like you said, we saw the devils, because it's fishing boats.
Damn it. And so they're that, and then they bring up all this damn seaweed, and they clog everything up. But there are some people that are already mind controlled up here that were trying to leave. Actually, these people are trying to leave the city. And
yeah,
so
they're trying to leave so they can go infect more.
Infect more people. And Aquaman takes to them and beats the hell out of them all. See, he was cool. So he beats them up.
Aquaman was cool before that Momoa guy became him.
Yes, he was.
And then women, then all of a sudden, women started to like Aquaman.
Yeah, well, and that is a good movie.
Yeah.
This kind of got me at first. I'm like, this is kind of silly, but it's kind of freaky too. Like Elongated Man, like Plastic Man would stick his head around the corner or whatever.
Elongated Man stuck his eyeball out with like his cornea cord attached to it, and it's just stretching and stretching. I'm like, there's a dirty joke in there somewhere.
This is terrible. I mean, it's like just not his head, not one eye. This is the shit of nightmares,
like,
right? So I'm like, oh my god, there's nothing there, Batman. So they head on, and they get to talking, and he says, something like Flash is being awful. Flash and Zatanna are being awful quiet. And do you think something's wrong? And then Batman, of course, he's whispering, hey, nothing that we should be talking about or worry about. And he says that something happened in one of our previous issues. I had the previous issue. It's 188. Okay, so it's right before this one. I actually had to go back and read it because I'm like, hold it. Did Flash and Zatanna get together? And, I don't know, lock lips or whatever the hell. I had to find out. So I went back and read it. In 188, they like talk, and Flash is like, hey, I just like to talk to you. I've been having some bad stuff. I didn't know I couldn't remember his wife dying.
Yeah, Iris.
Yeah. What did she die of?
Reverse Flash killed her.
So Reverse Flash kills her. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Reverse Flash kills her. He's having a bad time, and he decides to talk to her at the end of 188, and they walk off, and that was it. So nothing. There's no lip locking, nothing else. He walks off. But even here, saying the thing is you down here, she even says, the evening that, evening aboard the JLA satellite, he never knew how to seek it. I hope he doesn't regret our what did they walk off? And I mean, these are things that inquiring minds want to know. So, all right. So now that we've got that out of the way, they continue on, and here comes more damn Starro little creatures, and they attack. But Flash like hauls butt to try and save everybody, and tries to save Zatanna, and he rushes in front of her protective spell, and ends up knocking Batman back and everything else. It's just terrible because he's like, I don't know, he's just not thinking right. But she manages to recover and cast her protective spell. And she gets dizzy, which I didn't realize that, I don't know what's going on at this time with her getting dizzy, casting reverse spells. So.
Well, using so much magic, it takes a lot out of you.
I guess.
And she used a freeze spell on how many hundreds of baby starfish to take them out of the game.
To stop them.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we get here back to see Ralph and the rest of them head out. And meanwhile, across town, or wherever it is, across town, here comes Red Tornado, who realizes that Starro's feeding off of the electricity at Grand Central Station. So he goes to the power company and actually tries to shut off the power, which zaps him at first. But he recovers and throws himself across the control and shorts it all out. So he cuts the power out. So while he cuts the power out, we go back and we got Hawkman, Hawkwoman, who are knocking helicopters out of the sky to try and make sure nobody leaves the city. And they all rush together and finally start meeting up.
When I first looked at that panel, I was like, oh,
which
great. One? That one right there, the top right. I go, oh, great. They're making Hawkman stupid again. He just flew into the rotors of that chopper and it went crashing down. Now we need new Hawkman again.
New Hawkman? No, he throws a little net over it and breaks the stuff. But then all of a sudden he's got strong enough. He grabs the damn back into that damn helicopter and he manages to force it onto the building and saves everybody, but they're knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
We both watched the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, and they show Black Canary is an absolute badass in that cartoon. She beats people up left and right.
Oh yeah.
And
they made her the trainer for Young Justice too.
Yeah, I think in the Young Justice cartoon they did. And here, Hawkman and them, after they knock the damn helicopter down, they hear little Timmy, crying and everything in the freezer. So they go to see what the hell's wrong with him. And Batman stumbles upon Black Canary, who he's like, all of a sudden, like, oh God, she's a master of hand-to-hand combat. And him and her get into a fight. And I just, she's holding her own against him, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it says the only thing that manages to let him beat her is the fact that, freaking Starro's got control of her, so she doesn't have full control of her mind, and he knocks her ass out.
Mm-hmm. So apparently Black Canary's a badass in her own right, but she also has a glass jaw.
Yeah.
Now a shattered glass jaw.
Yeah, because he lays her ass out. He knocks her out. And he can't take it off.
Can't get the fish off now.
Yeah. Oh, here's where Red Tornado gets up after he gets knocked out the first time, and now he realizes what's going on. So this is where he just throws himself on the damn conductors and shorts them all out. And then Starro, all the power goes out along the central rail lines and everything, and Starro's like, "Where's my food?" And then he goes ballistic. And then when he goes ballistic, there's the rest of the Justice League, who now, they've managed to free Wonder Woman and Superman and everything else. And Zatanna's casting this light spell.
And apparently Zatanna has one of his oysters in her hand. Oh, it's right there. I see it in the middle of the page.
It's the light spell.
Oh.
It's the light spell. So they've managed to free them. We learn out really quickly here because little Timmy told them, or they figured out when little Timmy was in the freezer, and he lets them know that, the starfish couldn't control him anymore, that they've managed to freeze everybody. And when they freeze them, it releases them from mind control. So here now they confront Starro and they freeze him and put him on ice.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing he can do to stop it, like Firestorm. And
they put him on ice, which is a reference to yet another Star Trek episode.
Damn it. And then here at the end, like I said, it's kind of Ralph's being a little kind of silly. He says, "Forget I asked." Because he's asking, wonder if there'd be much market for a frozen starfish on a stick, and everybody just looks at him. And that's it.
That's it. But this is like you told me. This was the arc where thanks to Brian Boland, where they actually made Starro kind of like a badass.
Yeah, and it's all from the cover. Like I said, I had read that somewhere in the past or something, that basically they just were contacting Brian Boland. Hey, man, I need you to do some cool ass, artwork for these comics, and we're gonna have, this is gonna be the villain. So he wrote and drew all this, and then put all these little starfish people in, and they had to make the story fit the picture, and it makes Starro an absolute badass.
Mm-hmm. And I remember a few years ago, they were actually selling those Starro masks at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, really? That would have been cool.
So you can buy those they were like a limited thing, but they would strap her, an elastic strap around the back of the head.
Yeah.
And there was, some kind of like metal cord in there in the rubber of the mask, so you could, bend the starfish things to fit your face.
Yeah.
And it was like a telescoping eye in the middle. So it was, I guess they used like a bigger version, but like the old $6 Million Man bionic eye technology.
Yeah.
Where it would be like, so it would basically be like glasses telescoping glasses inside that would go to like a single like telescope lens, so you would just be looking through, and you'd of course have limited vision, so you'd have to keep going like this, but you could
You
see
can still
through it.
see where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is, like I said, I do read, primarily I read on DC, like I said, we know I read Phantom Stranger whenever he shows up. I read Batman and Superman. Everybody does. If they say they don't, they're fibbing to you.
No, no,
But
no. I don't read Superman.
you don't read Superman?
I haven't read Superman in years.
Oh my God, dude. Superman's great.
I had a good reason not to read Superman. It was called Brian Michael Bendis.
Before him, he was great. And some of it's been good. But Superman.
I liked like back in like like in the early 70s.
Oh, when he was at the radio, when he was at the TV station.
WGBS.
Yep.
There were some badass Superman stories, and then they go like, really like, wow, this is an amazing story, and then they'd go into like something where, where for some reason Superman meets Gru the Wanderer or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, mature story for 3 issues, something for the 5-year-olds, and then we'll go back to good stuff.
Well, and that's the whole thing. Even Silver Age Superman, they had such a problem with him. But and that's why why Byrne really straightened Superman out as much as he could in the 80s, because they had to get rid of a lot of, he was so strong.
They should have after the Man of Steel series, they should have just left him alone, because he was perfect right there.
Yeah.
Byrne did a perfect retcon on him, updated his powers and did this, that, and the other thing. And, it was perfect, because prior to then, he was, we all know he's the most powerful superhero on the planet.
Yeah.
But he was so OP, he's like, well, there's a meteor the size of the moon about to hit and destroy all life on Earth. Wait a second. I will just move the Earth out of its orbital trajectory for about an hour and a half, and then I'll push it all back.
Yeah.
So everybody just put on some oxygen masks, and we'll be back. I'm like, look, if you push the Earth out of its orbit, the entire Milky Way galaxy would pretty much just bite the big one.
Yeah. I mean, and he was so OP, and I've got a bunch of Superman books from the Silver Age and that kind of stuff. And then, like you're saying, some of them are absolutely incredible, and then others are just horrible.
I love like a lot of like the 60s, like the early 60s Superman stuff was like great. But you have to pick and choose. There's but going back to that era is where you find people like us that want to complete runs.
Well, and that kind of leads, I was going to show you. So I went to that discount store that bought a bunch of books a while back.
Which one?
Ollie's.
Oh, you went to Ollie's. Oh, yep. Nice.
And for $8, Superman Chronicles #5.
Yeah, that's a $50 book.
Yeah, I paid $8 for it.
I saw some people go into Ollie's over the years and scoring Marvel and DC omnibus editions for like $20-$25.
I got 2 of them.
Ooh, nice.
Number 2.
Where's number 1?
They didn't have number 1, so I got number 2. I've bought about 7 or 8 of these DC archive editions.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna take the book down because we're all done with that. But
oh, cool, Falcon and Dynamite.
Yeah, and it's the one that's got it's got all the extra pieces for Dynamite to do like all those cool things.
The crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, that's The box is all banged up, so I'm probably gonna end up opening that. I've got.
I used to love Falcon and Dynamite.
I think I showed you most of this stuff here, but yeah, because I showed you most of this stuff here because uh, when I showed you my three Gold Key Star Trek books, and I was thinking, well, that's gonna be it because there was only 3 seasons of Star Trek, and you're like, no, there's like 5 of those, and I'm like, damn.
Yep. All right. Here's one for you because I was looking through this. I have not had a chance to read it because I just got it.
I still got this one.
Legion of Superheroes.
First printing, Volume 1.
I don't know if you can see it, but that's what Mitzelplick used to look like.
Oh yeah, just like a little goofy bald guy.
Yeah. Yeah, the return of Mitzelplick. Yeah, I was looking, like I said, this. I stumbled across this Justice League to read because, like I said, I didn't know how much you would be wanting to read the Sergeant Fury 29. I read it, his eye patch issue, and I was trying to find the Justice League, and I actually just got this in the mail, so I'm gonna see about getting you a copy. If you want to read this, take it out of the bag. Hold on.
Let's see what you got there.
Control.
Rob Williams and Chris Weston.
Yep.
Is that like a compilation of some 2000 AD magazine stuff?
Yes, it is, and it's a whole story. And one of the reasons why I bought it, besides I like Judge Dredd, is right there on the cover. You see who highly recommended it? Garth Ennis. So I figure
nice.
If Garth Ennis recommends it, it's probably pretty damn good. And I've already looked through it. The art's all classic Judge Dredd art.
Oh yeah.
So I mean it.
Like I missed out. Somebody came in to my LCS and they were like selling a bunch of stuff, and he's always like, yeah, we're not really buying anything. I can, if you wanna like do something in trade, I can make you an offer and give you like, in trade. But he never buys any new stuff because he's got so much old stuff in the back room.
Well, and the thing is on like even like on the Judge Dredd stuff, I've bought some of the 4000 AD magazines. Is it 4000 AD?
2000.
2000 AD. Oh, 4000 is the Valiant thing. I was putting that up earlier. 4001 AD. But the thing is the freaking 2000 AD comes out once a week, and they're like, because you got to get them in the U.S., they're like $9 an issue.
Oh yeah.
1 month, it's like 30 something dollars. Even at a discount.
This guy took like, he said, well, I just need some cash. I haven't looked at these things in years, and they were all like the older. They were like beat up.
Yeah.
Like well loved, shall we say? But there was a stack like this deep of original like 2000 AD magazines, and the guy's like, you know what? He goes, I just need gas money to get me back and forth to work for the rest of the week. I haven't looked at these things in years. Can you give me like at least $30? He's like, he goes, I could do 20. He goes, good enough. He bought them, and the store put them up, $1, put a sign on them. 2000 AD magazines, $1 a piece, or make me an offer for the whole stack.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a handful around here, but like I said, my thing is they're just so expensive. I usually wait.
Yeah, they're so expensive because they're imports. Yeah.
Yeah, they're imports, and then it's, I don't say it's heavy metal, but it's like buying heavy metal. You buy heavy metal and you get 5 stories, which are cool, but you have to buy heavy metal for the next 5 months to get the whole story.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Versus
I,
if you
I
just
used
buy
to
one.
years ago. I used to subscribe to heavy metal.
Yeah,
I don't know where they all went. I think after a while, I quit saving them, and you know I read them and I flipped through them. Of course, a lot of the the kids in us that got heavy metal were like, they show titties,
yeah,
and so we would be in there for the skin factor at the point, not realizing we were educating ourselves on great artists like Boris and Olivia and Morbius and all the
yeah,
Royo and all these like amazing artists and
yeah,
storytellers. And we were like, boobies.
yeah,
And and it's like, cool artwork and like fantastic stuff.
yeah.
And I mean, I've got a couple issues left over there, and I found some more magazines in another box and I took them out. And I actually have a copy of the very first Starlord magazine.
Oh, really? Cool.
It's beat up, so it's like it's it's got creases with color breaks and everything on it, so it's not worth like grading or anything, but it's still something that I would put in a frame from like the dollar store and go hang up on my wall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's
Hell yeah.
that's the nice part about some books. I mean, some books need that to show that they were actually read and loved, because there's a lot of stuff out there that people throw to the side.
Hmm.
Um,
I think it's cool now too that I've seen some Kickstarters where they actually do like old school distressed covers, and they purposely make the pages like off white. They put like a like that through the coloring process. They put like a yellowing tint on the pages
yeah.
just to make it look beat up. Don Chin, because I got to interview him, the creator of Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters,
Oh my God.
the co-creator of the Hamsters. He did a parody book back in the '90s against the creator of Deadpool there, and some of the other guys from Image that were doing all the mutant books for Marvel at the time.
Yeah.
But he called it X Farce. So now they did a few of them back then for his own LLC that him and his friends put together called Parody Press. But they put him back together, and he's been running like an Indiegogo for it. And it's like a nice fat like 100-page book, but it's like they put like some new parody stuff in it. Like Professor Xavier is just Professor. I'm Professor Baldy,
Professor Bald.
and Mike Barron wrote a story for him.
Really?
Uh, it was a mashup of the X-Men and American Idol, where the professor got a bunch of students killed, so they need to replace them. And the story is they had a student, I forget what they called them. It was basically like a Marvel ripoff of Matter Eater Lad from the Legion of Superheroes, and he ate himself to death.
He ate himself to death like
So they
pizza
had to
Hut.
replace him. So they're holding auditions. So there's like a big line of mutants, in line, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff, that looks silly, but upon closer inspection is, a little, it's not dirty, but it's mature,
Yeah.
you know, but it's like hilarious. The Magneto character is basically just like one big booger with a helmet on it, and it's just fun, but it it fell into it fell into the same trap that a lot of crowdfunding books fall into, where they make them oversized, and sometimes they're reprinting stuff that they've done, making a trade, but they still want 30 or 40. It's still going to cost you like close to $50
Yeah.
with shipping to get like one book. And I'm like, that is the downfall of this big explosion of the indie scene. And this, don't get me wrong, there's still like tens, if not hundreds of thousands. There's hundreds of thousands of people, literally, that just buy indie comic. Most of their, they'll, if they're like me, like a Batman fan, or like you, like a Thor fan or whatever, they might still get like that one character that they've loved dieheartedly since they were like a little kid.
Yeah.
But they gave up like on all the other stuff because they, there's that saying that, great, Marvel and DC, there's basically like 18 stories that you can tell, and then you just kind of like flip the script and mash them together to change it. But I mean, like, look at Marvel. Their new event is Heroes Reborn. Oh, I remember that abortion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't buying that again.
20-something years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to figure out what the hell they're doing with it. Because I mean, they've got so many books that are so hot right now. I mean, Marvel.
I can only think of one.
Well, you don't
Hulk.
like Thor. Well, Hulk is incredible. You don't like Thor, and Daredevil is incredible right now.
Okay, it's not that I don't like Thor or Daredevil, because I'm.
Man, look at that bald head.
Hello.
All right, so I guess next week we really will. You'll have to wear your hat, and next week we'll have to do the Daredevil Punisher crossover.
Yeah, you'll have to get me that stuff. Hopefully, I'll have my mirrored. Then it pulls up and mixes the
Daredevil. The Daredevil. The two bald guys now talking about comic books. What the hell?
Yeah.
The Daredevil story is drawn by John Romita Jr. And the
that's a shame.
This is in the 80s now. Remember that?
Oh, this is when he could still draw. Okay.
Yeah, so it's JR.
I'm gonna say that to his face one day. I go, remember in the 80s when you used to be able to draw real good? And then you just started chicken scratching everything because you were like, fuck it, they're going to pay me the same amount of money no matter what I do.
So it's in the 80s when he could still draw. And the actual Punisher one, I think it's either Jim Lee or it's Portico.
I put that back up there just because I looked and it was like, this big glowing orb of my...
on your head?
Yeah, because I'm looking at my face and it's just like...
Damn it.
I look like a fluorescent bulb from like 1962 or something. I don't know.
Damn it. So I'll get that, and then I'll get us a copy of the Judge Dredd trade for sometime next month, because I got to read it. It's 100 and something pages.
That's 100 and something pages?
I think it was. Or right at 100 pages. Let me see.
Yeah, so that's like 5 or 6 issues.
Yeah, it's a full trade.
So, okay, so you're picking that. You're picking that Dread trade. So that'll be one of our monthly trades.
Why the hell do they call them progs? I never understood that.
Why do they call them what?
Progs. It says 2000 AD Prague 1889.
I don't know. You'll have to ask somebody over the pond for that.
Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, sweet ass. Damn, I didn't even see that. Judge Dredd doing his best to Kira.
Oh yeah, that's a nice homage piece right there.
Yes, it is. But yeah, so it's in a handful of issues. So, but I always pick them up whenever they come out and trade.
All right, so that'll be our trade
Next
for
month.
February.
Yeah.
That'll be our trade for February, and then the trade for March will be Kingdom Come.
Oh my God, I can read Kingdom. I could. I don't. Do I need to read it again, or can I just go off memory? Just go to my.
You can go off memory, but you should probably read it again.
Go to my favorite part in that book where they finally piss Superman off.
Mm-hmm.
After they nuke the superheroes.
Oh, you mean this?
No, the part where he's in the UN building. A little after that.
Oh, in that book.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, Kingdom Come is so good.
Yes, with his battle with Shazam.
Yes.
The real Captain Marvel.
Yeah. The thing that gets me is, and I've had this discussion with other fans, is I know we do all the we do Elseworlds and alternative tale comics and everything. To me, it's everything kind of like goes together. It's all one giant universe or whatever. So to me, it's always like Kingdom Come is going to happen in the comics, and you can't get to Kingdom Come because it's what is it? It's that finite point. You can't keep getting towards it. And if you remember what you said, you don't read Superman. So about I don't know 15 years ago or something in Action Comics. I think it was Shane Davis was doing it, and I can't remember who the writer is now. But they introduced Magog in the regular Action Comics continuity.
Oh, I think I got that.
And they're pushing toward Kingdom Come in Action Comics. And every month it was like, holy crap, this is the best stuff ever. Don't go this way. Because you know what's
Magog. Yeah,
Magog
had his own series for a little, like a mini series for a little while.
Yeah.
And I loved this page right here because Batman. I'm like, oh my God, they put the Creeper in Kingdom Come.
The Creeper in Kingdom Come.
I'm like, that's awesome. I know he's going to get killed, but.
Oh, I got a DC Spectacular the other day. First Creeper. DC Spectacular First Creeper. It's not like first appearance of Creeper because that was in Showcase. We did that, but this I guess it's the first appearance of Creeper in DC Spectacular. Like whatever, it's good. Yeah, shortly after that.
Well, they showed the UN before that, but
no, the scene where he's pissed off and he's about to bring the damn building down.
Oh, right there.
Yeah. And if you read it, the people are trying to get out, and they're screaming, "Oh God, he's welded the door shut!" So they made him so mad he came this close to killing everyone inside the UN.
Yeah, and he killed Shazam.
Yeah.
Well, he killed Billy. It just means that they're going to get another kid.
Yeah. But Luthor had corrupted him so bad by that point. There was no coming back from that.
Mm-hmm. And then 1 year later, Clark and Diana are going to eat at the Superhero Cafe.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, that was great.
There's like so much cool stuff. And then I was like, oh, cool. They've got one of the waiters dressed up as Burt Ward.
Damn it. You do have the first printings of that, don't you?
Oh yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I'll if it's something like this, I'll just be like, I don't know where the hell those issues are, and I don't want to dig through
All of that.
all of those boxes to find it. So,
We got a trade.
and bought it on sale. It was like, I bought it for like half price. So, it's the soft cover the soft cover is only like $15.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's the best $15, you're going to spend. And, half price, it's like, a $7 book. So I'm like, you can't. If I move, it mutes me.
I know.
And for Christmas, we're going to read Bone.
Bone.
The entire thing.
I may need to order that one because I don't know if I can sit here and read all that one on the computer.
Oh, you don't own one of these yet?
No, I've got a handful of the singles, but I don't have the whole Bone omnibus.
Yeah, well, I got a bunch of the singles too.
Oh no! Break out. We'll read Church and State by by Dave Sim.
Oh God. But so we're gonna do that Daredevil crossover next week.
Yeah, go with your hat.
Yeah, I'll wear my Daredevil side of the hat instead of looking like, right now it's like, oh, look at those guys. They must be gonna read the first appearance of Egghead in Batman. No, because Egghead was actually just a character for the TV show, and then they moved him into comics eventually.
Either that, or we can read the first appearance of Lex Luthor.
Yeah, let's not do that.
That's an old book.
Because you already said that at some point you want to read the Lex Luthor Man of Steel book from Azraella.
God, dude, that book is good.
So next week we're going to do that the double shot, the Punisher Daredevil first crossover, and until then,